Good morning, y'all. I am here to do a submission video for Jimmy C's Just Cause video contest. This is only the second contest that I've ever entered, but I've been inspired here recently when I did my own contest couple of weeks ago. That was a lot of fun. I also just recently entered Biggie's Comics contest. Biggie's Comics! Yep. Gotcha, Biggie. So I'm going to enter Jimmy C's here too, because I liked the questions. I'll keep this short and sweet, my man. The first question that Jimmy is asking of us: what is your favorite movie or movies? Now, Jimmy, you're going to have to give me a little bit of leeway here. I couldn't just chip it down to 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. And you have to understand, asking a 52-year-old movie lover, devoted, lifelong movie lover, what his favorite movies are, as opposed to posing that same question to a 25-year-old, you know, it gets a little complicated and a little intense. Let me just roll through. I've got a short stack here. There's 8 things here. These are in no particular order, but and I could have pulled out a hell of a lot more and talked about them, but I won't. Clockwork Orange, a Stanley Kubrick masterpiece. I am a huge Kubrick fan anyway. If you ask me what my favorite Kubrick films are, Clockwork Orange rises to the top. I'm also a huge fan of Dr. Strangelove and Barry Lyndon. I've seen all of these films probably 20 times each. And quite frankly, I've probably watched Barry Lyndon the most out of my favorite Kubricks. I bet I've seen Barry Lyndon 30 times. A Guide for the Married Man. My favorite comedy of all time. It's a glorious little 1960s sex romp thing. Wicked script. Walter Matthau makes for this great hero of the film. A Guide for the Married Man. My favorite comedy since I first saw it as I was about 10 years old. So it's probably 74 or 75, something like that. Favorite horror movie of all time, unquestionably, The Thing. And I know there's many other people out here that would probably say the same thing. The same thing. No pun intended. Greatest horror movie of all time. Clint Eastwood's Unforgiven. I know Sarge put this in as his favorite film in Jimmy C's contest submission here, and it is indeed a masterpiece. Take away the Oscar for Best Picture and Best Director and all that. Even if it never achieved any of that, any success at all, it is still Clint Eastwood's masterpiece. Unforgiven. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Another major heavy hitter on this list. Certainly in the top 5, if not the top 3. a devastating, devastating film. It's one of only 3 or 4 films to ever garner the top 5 Oscars. What is it? Best Picture, Best Director, Best Actor, Best Actress, Best Screenplay. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest is no joke. Any of you youngsters out there that have not seen this film, but may know it by reputation only, put it at the top of your list for viewing. East of Eden, James Dean's major premiere. I've seen this movie more than any other movie, and a lot of these movies I've seen 20, 30, 40 times. I have watched East of Eden probably over the last 35 years, 150 to 175 times. By far the film that I have watched the most times. It leaves everything else in the dust. It was the first video cassette that I ever bought. Back around 1983. And it was like $60 or something. And I was living in poverty. But I bought this damn thing on video cassette when it came out because I was obsessed with James Dean and this performance. I could talk for hours about that, but I won't. 2 more here. It's a Wonderful Life. Every American knows or should know this film. I would call it the single most life-affirming film of all time. It is just a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful experience. I only allow myself one viewing every year around Christmas time. And I try to make it New Year's Eve because that's actually where the story takes place. Is on Christmas Eve. Now it's all told in flashback and all that, but the front and the end all take place on Christmas Eve. It is a masterpiece. You will, if you've not seen this film, you will discover humanity in this amazing piece of work. It's no joke, my friends. No joke. Finally, Midnight Cowboy. I saw a video recently here from our friend Shannon. Solid what is it? Sorry, Shannon, I'm blanking here. Solid solid 4-string bottom end, where he said, I bought this DVD, I bought a handful of DVDs of films that I have always wanted to see and have never seen. And I may have left a comment, it sounds like me, that I would have left a comment about Midnight Cowboy. Midnight Cowboy is, to me, the most poignant film about an unlikely friendship that has ever been created. It's the only X-rated film to ever win Best Picture, 1969, even though it was re-released as its popularity gained, re-released with an R rating. But Midnight Cowboy, this is the real deal. Shannon, onward and upward. I hope you've watched this, my man. It's a masterpiece. All right. Movie quotes. I don't really think in terms, of quotes from movies in that traditional sense of, yippee-ki-yay, or I'll be back. I tend to remember whole pieces of dialogue that stick in my head. For instance, from Midnight Cowboy, the scene toward the end, I don't want to spoil anything for anyone, but where Joe Buck knows he goes back to the hotel with the old man as a male prostitute, and he knows he needs this money to get Ratso to Florida because he's very, very sick, and he says he's looking in the mirror at himself, trying to psych himself up to confront this old man, and he says, "Look, did I tell you I got a sick boy, and I got to get him to Florida as soon as I can? You understand me, Townie? You understand me?" That's the kind of stuff, like, the dialogue I remember comes in my favorite scenes or whatever, but I will give you a couple of quotes. The first one from Raising Arizona, which certainly would have gone on this stack if I wanted to make it any larger, but two things from Raising Arizona. I remember Nick Cage, and he does it twice, once early in the film, and then later at the final scene. See him lying there in the bed, and the voiceover says, "That night, I had a dream." That's it. The other quote from Raising Arizona is when he wakes up from the first dream, actually. The sun is shining, and he walks over to the window, and he looks through the window blind, and he says, "Sometimes it's a hard world for little things." That's a quote that sticks in my head. And also, Clint Eastwood, what is it? Sudden Impact, Dirty Harry. When he comes back in the coffee shop, and he tells the dude, "Well, we're just not going to let you walk out of here." And the guy says, "Who's we, sucker?" "Smith and Wesson and me." And then he shoots up the coffee shop, of course, setting up the famous quote of, "Go ahead, make my day." Finally, we should report on something that not many people know about us. Everyone out here in my real life, people that know me certainly know this about me, but the YouTube community, I don't think they do. I am a musician and a songwriter. I play multiple instruments. The banjo, the piano, the guitar. I can play a fiddle, decently, if it's tuned in the key of D. I can pick up a four-string bass and play that fairly well. I can also play the drums if I have to. Anyway, Jimmy C, there you go, my man. I hope you don't disqualify me for that old man's review of favorite movies. I know I went a little over the limit there or whatever. Anyway, thank you, my man, for having this contest. I enjoyed it. Love the questions. that's why I'm here. That's why I'm making this video. So, that's it. See y'all. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.